Hey guys, it's Nick, and some news has come out today. Not good news again involving your Chicago Blackhawks. What happened this time? It involves the TV booth of your Chicago Blackhawks. What does this mean? We know last year Pat Foley had his final season calling Blackhawks hockey. He retired. And Eddie Olczyk was on his final year of his contract with the Blackhawks to call as the color analyst alongside of Pat Foley. Well, what happens today is news has come out. And this is involving longtime color analyst and former Chicago Blackhawk Eddie Olczyk. Why? Well, he will not be returning to the Blackhawks TV booth for now, because he is now basically a free agent for any team to sign him to go to join their team as a color analyst of their team. The Hawks let go of another great broadcaster. I know Pat Foley's retired, but they let go of the best, arguably best, color commentator in the sport of hockey, and you can argue in professional sports, and Eddie Olczyk. That's why Edzo does national games on Wednesday nights with TNT. He did it with NBC, but now he can go to any team that would like him to do their color commentating. What the Hawks have done, they have isolated. They've isolated former players. Are isolating current players in Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews. And it just seems like they just are doing a dollar bill warts method. What does that mean? Being cheap. Jamie Faulkner and Danny Warts seem like they're going the cheap way out on running this team. Which is not the right way of doing things. I get it, you're in a rebuild and this team's not going to be good for years. But the thing is, you're isolating the fan base by trying stuff out that, frankly, does not make sense. You should sign Eddie Olczyk. He deserves any dollar value he is asking for. He's the best in the sport at color commentating any sport, in my opinion. Without Eddie Olczyk, without Pat Foley calling games, I feel like the broadcast is going to suffer for Chicago Blackhawk games. This team is already suffering by the fact they have made the fan base angry on how they're doing stuff. They also are now basically going out and saying, here's what we're doing, and now they are letting go of a great broadcaster in Eddie Olczyk. I'm just saying this. What Jamie Faulkner and Danny Warts and even Rocky Warts are doing is basically trying to save money. And it's going to hurt their viewership market on games. The team's going to be bad. Hopefully, Kane and Toews stay around a little bit longer than not. But right now, this team is in utter disarray. You can't go and just basically ruin the organization by letting go of a great color commentator, because when people watch Hawks games, they also are listening to the game with, well, at the time, Pat Foley and Eddie Olczyk. Now it's going to be Chris Falsters and someone else. It apparently shows the Hawks are going to be going after a former player again, so maybe a Patrick Sharp who's done a couple games in the past couple of years, but I'm just saying this. When you have someone that good at their job, you should not be letting them go, and you should be trying to keep them around. I don't know if the Hawks tried that, but how it feels, the Hawks are doing their wrong and just letting Edzo walk. Everyone is going to listen to a game, and it's not going to sound like a Blackhawk game. We know that. Without Pat Foley, who is the voice of the Chicago Blackhawks, will always be the voice of the Chicago Blackhawks, it's not going to sound the same. Without Eddie Olczyk being the color commentator, saying what was this going down on a play, trying to teach the young hockey players around the Chicagoland area or around North America what a player did wrong or what they did right, to just take a look at what to do. Without that, I feel like the Hawks are going to be in disarray when it comes to broadcasting. It could be at a point where this team is going to have one of the worst viewerships in the sport of hockey. I don't know if that's going to be necessarily true, but what the Hawks seemingly to be doing, Jamie Faulkner and Danny Wirtz right now are being cheap at what they're doing. CEO Danny Wirtz and President of Business Operations Jamie Faulkner. And back in February, Faulkner said they're going to try everything to keep Eddie Olczyk around in this organization. He's part of the future of this organization. What happens today? News breaks from The Athletic that Eddie Olczyk is out, and the Hawks are now in the search for a new color commentator. And then shortly after that came out, NBC Sports Chicago releases that Eddie Olczyk is out as Blackhawks color commentator, and he will be going to a different team. So, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on all this, because what I'm feeling is the fact that Jamie Faulkner and Danny Wirtz and Rocky Wirtz are going the cheap way out of doing this team any favor, because what they're doing is hurting the team by not engaging by what the fans want. And what the fans want is not necessarily what the organization sees. So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this, because this is my theory what's going on. Because they're letting Eddie Olczyk walk. And what does that mean with Troy Murray and John Weideman on WGN Radio? So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on all of this, and thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, this is going to be a long few years for the Hawks, and let's go Hawks.